Tonight, a man's body discovered at a Broken Hill property and a landmark agreement reached to invest more funding into attracting regional doctors.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. The body of a 47-year-old man was found at a home in Broken Hill yesterday afternoon. Investigations into the circumstances of the death are ongoing. Our reporter Josh Mercer has more from the scene.
At around 12:50 yesterday afternoon, the body of a man was found in a home here on Burke Street. Emergency services were called to the Broken Hill property, following reports of a concern for welfare. Officers, part of the Barrier Police District, attended and discovered the man's body. A crime scene was set up and the street blocked off as an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident got underway, with assistance from the homicide squad. The body is believed to be of a 47-year-old man, but is yet to be identified. Police say he had sustained a wound to his neck. No arrests have been made so far, but inquiries are ongoing under Strikeforce holder. Police are now appealing to the public for help. Anyone with any information regarding the incident is urged to contact Broken Hill Police Station or Crime Stoppers.
A landmark agreement has been reached between the state government and regional doctors, aiming to improve healthcare services within country towns. The new incentive, hoping to attract and maintain doctors to regional areas amid doctor shortages.
A new push to draw more doctors out of the big cities. A new landmark agreement reached by the government, set to invest $188 million over the next 2 years.
They provide more flexibility, more incentives for doctors to work in the country. For example, a key benefit of the agreement is a sign-up bonus of up to $50,000 for a doctor to work in the more remote areas of the state.
The funding also encouraging doctors to move and subsequently stay in regional areas longer.
The rural GP contracts, which have been in place for some years, have been significantly improved. It'll actually involve a 20% increase in funding. That will make it easier to attract and retain GPs.
Senator Karen Grogan saying money will not solve the issue.
That we just need to throw more money at doctors and they'll come. But I think that fails to understand how the regions operate and the value and role of a doctor in a regional area or in a small town.
Launching a survey in the Grey electorate after residents struggling to get local GP appointments were having to travel to Adelaide.
People saying that they're waiting between 2 and 6 weeks to get an appointment with a GP, and that people who are trying to find a new GP to go to, they're getting a response from over 61% saying that they're not actually taking new patients on.
But the Minister of Health says the COVID-19 pandemic may entice doctors to leave metro areas.
I think there'll be increasing attraction of living and working in regional South Australia as people see the if you like, the risk of living in a close urban environment.
Senator Grogan will table the survey response in Whyalla on March 1st. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
With thousands flocking to waterways and beaches for Australia Day celebrations today, SAPOL is urging members of the public to stay safe as the evening kicks on, saying their water operations unit is out in force, ensuring those operating vessels are not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Patrols are also monitoring behaviour at beaches, road safety and watercraft safety. Still to come tonight, from physical parades to digital ceremonies, we bring you coverage and celebrate valuable citizens in Australia Day celebrations from across the Spencer Gulf. Welcome back. Let's begin our Australia Day coverage in Port Lincoln, where the community held a ceremony acknowledging the extraordinary work of its citizens. The event, held at the Nautilus Arts Centre, saw some of the city's most respected figures awarded.
The Australia Day ceremony beating to the sound of the drum. Members of the community gathering for a communal breakfast on Flinders Laneway this morning. Formalities in the Nautilus Arts Centre opening with the Citizen of the Year award.
Look, I actually felt sick, and then afterwards I cried, which women do, and then I thought, oh wow, this is really amazing. This is just an honour for all the hard work I've done throughout the years of different volunteering on communities.
Tunarama President, now Citizen of the Year, Sharon Humanick, now encouraging others to get involved in the community.
I just think that we should give back to our community. We live in this community, and if people don't volunteer and give back, the community's not going to survive.
The ceremony also acknowledging the work of the next generation, awarding the South Australian Youth Governor Shania Richards with the Young Citizen of the Year.
Feels like an actual dream come true. Like, it's such an honour just to be recognised, and at such a young age too. I didn't really think that what I was doing was even worthy of recognition, and so that was just pretty humbling to know that, you know, the community was watching.
Due to the current COVID restrictions, the ceremony was live streamed on the council's Facebook page. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Wandera also celebrated Australia Day this morning, with the Broughton Plains Heritage Society hosting a big breakfast. Members from Port Pirie, Port Broughton and Wandera came out to have a snag and reflect on the country's history.
Celebrating Australia with a barbecue. Wandera's community coming together, inviting everyone along to enjoy a breakfast while showing appreciation for the country.
I think we're living in a safe, friendly, beautiful, relaxed country. Why not celebrate it? You know, there's so much to be grateful for, I think.
It was also a day to reflect on the country's history and give acknowledgement to our First Nations people.
We want to keep it going, you know. We don't want to offend people with Australia Day celebrations. That's not what we're about. We're about appreciating the positive of Australia Day.
The Broughton Plains Heritage Society taking the chance to congratulate Robert and Diane Joyce for their long-standing service to the district.
We as a district, we've got plenty of room, we can spread out. We're not a monster group, but yeah, we just love each other and we just want to support each other.
Former residents John and Madge Vanstone given the honour to cut the Australia Day cake as a thank you for being part of the community.
My home originally is down at Wandera, and then we moved to Butler's Bridge, and we've been out there 61 years.
Christian Cominos, 7 Spencer Golf News.
In contrast to other cities, Port Augusta opted to not hold a physical Australia Day ceremony. Amid COVID uncertainty in the region, the council found it was more appropriate to live stream the event with newly upgraded equipment.
Australia Day ceremonies navigating a COVID-filled world. Port Augusta City Council cancelling its traditional Gladstone Square breakfast celebrations.
Very disappointing, because if you look at the condition of that square that's in at the moment, it looks absolutely fantastic, and it would have been a great day. And we normally do, you know, we normally get a couple hundred people come out and have their breakfast, listen to a bit of music.
Instead, community members were invited to attend a live broadcast of the Australia Day presentations via the council's YouTube channel.
It's time to reflect on the past, the present and a positive future.
Broadcasted over Zoom using the council's newly upgraded streaming equipment. The Mayor, Deputy Premier and esteemed guests all making an appearance.
Council, over the last probably 3 years, we've brought in some new concepts, and this is a great way that we can still share the day, share the experience for the community, share what Australia Day is about.
Shelley Ellis was awarded the city's Citizen of the Year award on the live stream to a smaller but equally proud reception. The council says the digital and socially distanced approach would be implemented by many this year to help fight COVID.
Standing, enduring, overcoming together.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Meanwhile in Whyalla, the council held a low-key ceremony to award this year's Citizen of the Year at Civic Chambers. The majority of outdoor events were cancelled in the city due to pandemic restrictions.
It's a day to commemorate the people who have made large contributions to life in Whyalla. A number of awards, including the Citizen of the Year, handed out at Civic Centre this afternoon.
Absolutely blown away. It's an extreme honour and privilege, yeah.
Citizen of the Year was awarded to Trish Thwaites, also presented with a Community Service Award. She was recognised for her annual campaign to give out Christmas hampers to those in need in the city.
It truly is a team effort. It really is. It comes down to my family support, my friends' support, and if it wasn't for the amazing Whyalla community and outsiders donating, I wouldn't be standing here today.
Senior Citizen of the Year was jointly held by Heidi French and Norman Coulter, while Talia Reeves was named Young Citizen of the Year. The Whyalla Show Society recognised for its efforts to have a show running when others across the state were cancelled.
We are feeling extremely honoured. It is a very prestigious award as it is, but this year in particular.
Mark Zeta, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The community of Red Hill has marked a very special Australia Day with its first ever citizenship ceremony. One local decided it was time to make the change and become a true blue Aussie after living here for more than 28 years.
Australia has gained another citizen. Monica Jackson, receiving her citizenship certificate in a Red Hill first that saw the whole community come out and celebrate. Starting as a backpacker from Germany, she travelled through South Australia where she met her true love, and in 7 weeks, she was engaged.
It was meeting my husband. That's what made me stay here, come back, start a career, start a family.
4 kids later, Monica has now been living in Australia longer than she did in Germany and says that was the indication to get her citizenship.
Once I've been here for 27 years, I'll think about it. And I didn't want to do it while my parents are alive. They might have been disappointed, I don't know. So yeah, that's when I decided to go for it.
The feeling of being an Australian hasn't quite sunk in yet, but she says she's feeling very proud.
The whole Jackson family have been such an incredible addition, as far as what they've been able to achieve since Monica landed here in 1993 and, whirlwind romance, so it's a lovely story.
Christian Komenos, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
And across the border in Broken Hill, an Australia Day ceremony also took place. A warm morning starting with a welcome to country and flag raising, the crowd then moving inside to introduce 8 new citizens. Mayor Tom Kennedy and Deputy Mayor Jim Hickey presenting them with their awards. Broken Hill's Australia Day ambassador was also on hand to present the awards. Bronte Hendricks saying she is ecstatic to be this year's ambassador and has taken a liking to the Silver City. Stay with us after the break. More of Port Augusta's Wharf area closed off for public safety. And Whyalla Surf Life Saving Club receives critical funding. I'll be back with more soon. Hello again. The Port Augusta public will have to avoid more of the city's iconic marine infrastructure. The already partially closed wharf has had its fenced-off areas extended as the state government assesses the area for safety.
A historic icon out of bounds to the public. In Port Augusta, restrictive fencing has been extended to include more of the city's wharf at the east side foreshore.
The state took an inspection on that early before Christmas, and they've decided there are a number of areas now that need some attention or further inspection before any areas can be opened, so the state decided to ask council to fence that off on their behalf.
As a state government-owned asset, the Infrastructure Department has closed off more of the structure to manage its deteriorating state. With a $22 million restoration project on the horizon, the temporary solution gives the department time to assess the damage. But with majority of the city's marine infrastructure closed off to the community, there is a sense of urgency to get the project moving.
But we can't drag our feet on this. This project and our project are to complete on the completion of this bridge. That was the agreement. So we need to work strong and hard with the state government as a community to make sure we achieve our goal.
In the meantime, the Infrastructure and Transport Department will look to identify areas where the fencing can be modified to allow public pedestrian access.
Hopefully they're working towards trying to make some area available for our community. The wharf is an important component in the infrastructure of our history.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The state government has announced a $13 million funding injection for surf life-saving organisations across South Australia. In Whyalla, the funds are aiming to improve training practices, keeping swimmers safe in our waters.
It's the biggest funding allocation for a valuable beachside patrol organisation. The South Australian government committing $12.9 million to Surf Life Saving South Australia. a needed help for Whyalla SLSC hit hard by the pandemic.
We've had to close down our top room because we can't have too many people in there. It's only a small room, and we do make a reasonable amount of money over the bar every year.
The funds will help the club in a variety of ways, including provisions for the overall upgrade for the clubhouse in 2023. The cash injection also helping to improve surveillance of the Whyalla foreshore, including shark watching drones.
That goes towards beach safety equipment, so anything that we need in regards to what we need to put on patrol. So things like the SSV, the IRB.
The cash splash also includes a 33% boost in operational funding. For Whyalla's club, it's looking for keen volunteers to help out on the front line.
I'd just like to thank the government for putting this money forward, and Surf Life Saving South Australia for working so hard over the last couple of years.
Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. With prices soaring across the region, we'll see what's happening at our local petrol pumps. And Alex Sykes will join us with weather. Welcome back. There's going to be more pain for everyone's wallets, with fuel prices across the Spencer Gulf continuing to increase to new highs. With all the details, here's Mark Zita with this week's Fuel Watch.
It's not good news for regional drivers, with the price of unleaded in some areas starting to reach $1.70 per litre. As you can see, all the major centres in our viewing region saw price increases for unleaded. Broken Hill breaking the $1.70 barrier with a 2-cent increase over last week. It's the same story elsewhere, with prices also increasing at around 2 to 3 cents a litre. Whyalla and Port Augusta, the two most expensive centres for fuel. Port Lincoln, the least expensive at close to $1.62. If you're heading to Adelaide, there's no price relief there either, as they're in the high end of the metropolitan price cycle. Unfortunately, it's the same story with diesel right across the Spencer Gulf. Again, fuel prices rising at around 2 to 3 cents. Whyalla claiming the unsavoury title of the most expensive diesel. Port Lincoln, the cheapest yet again at close to $1.62. Prices also remain on the lower end in Kadina, where diesel is selling for close to $1.63 a litre. Diesel in Adelaide has seen the largest increase at 4 cents a litre. However, if your car runs on autogas, there's good news for you. Prices for LPG have either remained steady or seen very minor changes. Port Pirie saw the biggest decrease this week, with prices falling to close to $1.12 per litre. Kadina's prices have fallen 2 cents a litre to $1.16. But the best price for autogas is in Adelaide, where prices have fallen slightly to just under $1 per litre. Remember, these prices are the regional averages and do not reflect one particular outlet. And if you see fuel for cheaper, let us know through our Facebook page.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, Ruby. And calmer conditions are on the way after that wild weather we experienced earlier this week. More detail on that in just a moment. Let's first take a closer look at today's conditions. There are a few warnings about: a generalised flood warning for the Cooper Creek, a final flood watch for Flinders Ranges, Eastern Eyre Peninsula and parts of the northeast and northwest pastoral districts. At 3 p.m. today, Port Augusta was humid and partly cloudy and 36. Port Lincoln had a shower or two and was 25, and Port Pirie was 35 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Whyalla was partly cloudy and 29, Broken Hill was 35, Adelaide was 30, Woodner was 38, Kadina and Cleve were both 31, Clare was mostly sunny and 33, Cooper Pedy was 40. Taking a look at the satellite image now, thick cloud over the southeastern with a trough is causing some severe storms over the southeast of the state. Scattered cloud over the north and west of South Australia with another trough. is bringing some showers and storms, mainly in the coastal area. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Variable winds about 10 knots, seas below 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre. It will be humid across the region tomorrow. Possible shower in Port Lincoln with 27. Cleve set to reach a high of 31, and Woodner partly cloudy, also 31. Partly cloudy in the upper Spencer Gulf. Whyalla will be 32 degrees. It's set to be 37 in Port Augusta, and Kadina with a max of 31. Port Pirie will reach 35, Clare mostly sunny and 33, and Broken Hill be mostly sunny and a top of 35 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, Port Augusta will be humid and partly cloudy and 27. Cloudy in Port Lincoln, 24 degrees. Possible shower in Broken Hill, 34. Whyalla, 25. Port Pirie humid with 28. A look at the weekend's weather now. Partly cloudy in Port Lincoln, 24. Possible shower in Cooper Pedy, 33. Woodner, 29. Humid in Port Pirie, 32. Broken Hill partly cloudy and 33. Those humid conditions will continue in Port Augusta on Sunday, set to reach 33. Port Pirie also 33. Port Lincoln will be mostly sunny and 25 degrees. So Ruby, not a bad weekend forecast there at all, and that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Wonderful, thanks for that, Alex. And that's all local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening and the rest of the public holiday. Good night.